Hello there, fellow boatie. I'm guessing you've been pondering the idea of becoming one of us, i.e. a liveaboard or a liveaboarder. Actually, what do you call someone who lives aboard their own boat? Some would say that you'd call them mad. In the next few minutes, we'll look at what you really need to know when deciding if the liveaboard life is for you. This guide I've written for you is called Buying a Liveaboard Boat on a Shoestring Budget, and I've even spelt liveaboard correctly in the guide. It will teach you the basics of buying a liveaboard boat on a shoestring budget, and more importantly, exactly what that lifestyle entails for you. If you've watched the YouTube channels and gained a taste for a life of adventure, you might be in need of a reality check. The reality is that it's not all models in bikinis and sipping exotic drinks on the beach. It's also a lot of work. Hey, I'm just being truthful with you here, as I will be throughout this guide for you. By the time you've finished reading this guide, I want you to know if living aboard is right for you. As lifestyles go, the liveaboard path can be one of the most rewarding there is, if you're the right type of person for it. But don't let anyone tell you it's easy. Living on a boat will kick your butt. It will terrify you at times. You will question your sanity, and your friends and family will say you're on a suicide mission. However, for the right person, it is a life truly lived. Maybe that's why you're considering buying a liveaboard boat on a shoestring budget in the first place. Maybe you can identify with what I'm about to say then. You see, traditionally, we spend our lives in boxes, don't we? We wake up in our houses, which are the living boxes, travel to work each day in our cars, and they are our transport boxes. We work in our offices, which are our working boxes, and we return home in our transport boxes to our living boxes. We open our boxed meals and heat them in the cooking box. We use the bathroom box in our living box, and then retire to our sleeping box to start the day afresh tomorrow. It's a life of efficient compartments, but following the schedules of others. And the only time anyone considers you have finally completed the things that they believe you should do is when you slide from the living box to the burying box. Now, let's face it, the traditional way of living is a flat-pack life that may as well have arrived straight from IKEA. Some assembly required, follow the steps and you're finished. Perfectly acceptable from the outside and utterly pointless from the inside. Technically, it was life, as you filled in all the appropriate forms and stuck to the schedule. But was it? Was it a life truly lived? Most people will hear that and think that everything I've just said is a bit mad. But the liveaboard lifestyle is for people that will be cheering for that sentiment and would rather run away to sea and become a pirate than tolerate a predetermined life, if that's all they have. Can you relate? That doesn't mean it's easy, which is why you need to learn a lot, work hard, and plan to make your dream a reality. And you truly can, you know. Following this guide, you'll be able to learn what works and what doesn't for the liveaboard lifestyle. You'll be able to avoid many of the costly pitfalls that befall those trying to do this without actually knowing what they're doing. You will also discover just how cheaply your dream can be achieved, but also the hidden costs and skills you'll need as well. Your small investment in this guide will prepare you and will likely pay for itself tenfold at least. Here's what I will share with you inside. Buying a liveaboard boat on a shoestring budget is the title of the guide. And chapter 1 will be my introduction to you. Chapter 2 is living on a boat really for you. Chapter 3, what type of boat is going to be right for you. That's an all-important decision. Chapter 4, the realities of your needs. Actually, most people don't quite understand what it is their needs really are until it's set out in front of them. So chapter 4 covers that for you. And chapter 5 talks about outfitting your boat, and you'll learn lots of little tips and tricks there that will really help you. Chapter 6 is called Finding Your Perfect Boat, and that chapter alone is worth the entire investment in this guide, I should say. Now, chapter 7, we talk about money, and this will really help you. And once again, this chapter alone is worth much more than the tiny investment that you'll make in this guide. Chapter 8 is where we'll talk about necessary skills, and Chapter 9 is about your tender, and there's some great tips in there as well that will really once again help you. And Chapter 10, we tie it all together and we look at the conclusions for you. And in Chapter 11, we look at some resources that you can refer to that will really help you. Okay, so you can actually be reading this guide in seconds from now, and you can read it on a computer, a laptop, an iPad, or even your smartphone. You just hit the click here to order button below and follow the easy instructions. I think you'll be pretty glad you did. Go ahead and grab your own copy of Buying a Liveaboard Boat on a Shoestring Budget, and I'll talk to you on the inside.